Good morning. It is Saturday the 6th of May 2023, Coronation Day. I'm here in central London and I am going to take the London buses from Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle. But wait, you might be thinking, isn't Windsor Castle in Berkshire, not London? That is true. I do have an ace up my sleeve, so stay tuned, all will be revealed. So Hyde Park Corner, and as you can see, you can't really go any further than here. Buckingham Palace is just over that way, beyond the Wellington Arch there, and Constitution Hill. However, we have a mission, and that mission is to go from Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle, much like King Charles will be doing tomorrow as I'm filming this. Alright, so in order to head to Windsor, we need to head about 20 miles to the west. So that means taking the bus. Normally from here I get the number 9 to Hammersmith. However, on a day like today, there could be diversions. So in this case, I'll just take whichever next bus comes along and we'll wing it from there.
And the next bus that did come along was the 22 bus to Putney Common. This got me to Knightsbridge, where I changed from the 452 bus to Ladbroke Grove. Neither of these were the intended number 9 to Hammersmith, but as I say, extenuating circumstances applied on this particular day. On Kensington High Street, I boarded a number 27 bus to Hammersmith, and from there it was plain sailing into West London. Also, do note that the windscreen was spattered with rain throughout not only this bus ride, but all subsequent ones as well, because what could be more British than a coronation on a rainy day?
Alright, we made it to Hammersmith bus station. It is about 20 past 10, so King Charles will be leaving Buckingham Palace any minute now. And in the meantime, I shall be heading to Hounslow West.
And the H91 bus to Hounslow West was on diversion, so instead of going straight from King Street into Chiswick, it went via a roundabout way via Shepherd's Bush. Also, this gives me time to explain something rather handy when it comes to travelling around London. So at the time of making this video, a single journey on a London bus costs £1.75. However, any subsequent bus journey will be free of charge, provided you tap in with your Oyster card or your contactless less than an hour before the previous journey. They call it the hopper fare. And this way you can theoretically see as much of London as you like for less than £2. And by see I mean see, as the London Underground isn't the best for views. Also, I was particularly lucky on this day as I was able to get front seats on the top deck on almost all the bus rides. In fact, the traffic on the whole was a lot quieter than expected. And as far as the views go, the district of Chiswick was arguably the highlights of this particular leg of the journey. This leafy suburb is about 6 miles west of Buckingham Palace and around 15 miles east of Windsor Castle, meaning that we were past a quarter of the way there. Also, the name Chiswick comes from Old English for cheese farm, and there was allegedly an annual cheese fair here up until the 18th century. The change in scenery comes abruptly from leafy Chiswick into corporate Brentford. Looks can be deceiving though. This is one of the most historical areas of Greater London, as it's said that Julius Caesar crossed the Thames here in 54 BC. And the final stop of this particular bus journey is Hounslow West, almost exactly halfway between Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. But the question remains, how do we get to Windsor in Berkshire on the London buses?
Alright, it is 25 past 11. King Charles is in Westminster Abbey. I am in Hounslow West. How am I getting to Windsor from here? Here is where I deploy my ace in the hole.
So it turns out that there are a few towns outside of London where the London buses run to, and where an Oyster card is accepted. Slough happens to be one of them. Heathrow Airport effectively marks the western extreme of London. As we pass through it, the onward trip to Slough is mostly uneventful, save for a rather charming village named Colnbrook. With a population of around 6,000, this was once home to a number of coaching inns where travellers on the stagecoach would stop over on the route between London and Bath. As we arrive in Slough, it is worth pointing out on this royal occasion that Queen Victoria's first ever train journey was from this very town in 1842.
Alright, it is 12:40. King Charles will still be in Westminster Abbey, I believe. Meanwhile, I am in Slough Town Centre. So who's the real winner? Anyway, so there was a method to the madness of me coming to Slough via the London buses, and that is that Windsor is just 2 miles to the south. That means we can complete this journey on foot. But before we do, I would like to take some time out and, as a true epicure or flaneur, if you will, like to appreciate the sights and sounds of Slough Town Centre.
After basking in the beauty of Slough for several seconds, it was time for me to head south, where just over a mile away is the town of Eton.
So this was founded in 1440 by Henry VI. It is called Eton College, but it is a school. It's a public school, so it does mean that fees are required if you're sending your sons here. It is an all-boys school, one of the few public schools that remains the case. And it is quite the sight before coming into Windsor itself. And here we have Eton High Street. As you can see, all decked out for the coronation. And of course, King Charles will be heading back to Windsor tomorrow. And I believe the end is in sight. You can just about see the castle.
So the name Eton derives from Old English meaning farm or settlement on the river. The river being of course the Thames, and historically the Thames formed the boundary between Buckinghamshire and Berkshire. However, the county borders changed in 1974, and now both towns are in Berkshire. The school we saw, Eton College, was founded, as I say, by Henry VI in 1440 as King's College of Our Lady of Eton beside Windsor. Henry made provision for 70 poor boys, known as King's Scholars, to be housed and educated at Eton free of charge. The following year, Henry VI founded King's College in Cambridge as a sister institution, whereby only Eton College students would be accepted, but Henry's plans fell through at the onset of the Wars of the Roses.
And there we are. We've reached Windsor Bridge, spanning the Thames, of course.
Good. I'll see you in a few kilometres.
So needless to say, as the castle hints at, we have Windsor on the south side and Eton on the north side, or the north bank. So we are on the home straight now. And to quote the Grateful Dead, what a long, strange trip it's been. Although I don't think the Grateful Dead were referring to Slough when they wrote that particular song. But here we are, finally in the town of Windsor. So to answer the question, is it possible to travel from Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle? The answer is, via London buses that is, the answer is of course yes. And the bells are ringing out on this momentous occasion of the coronation of King Charles III.
In 1070, William the Conqueror built a wooden Motte and Bailey castle here. This was later replaced from the 12th century under Henry II with a stone structure that would develop into what we see today. Henry III added a series of towers in the early 13th century. In 1421, Henry VI, founder of Eton College, was born in Windsor Castle. He came to the throne at just 9 months old and was the monarch at the outbreak of the Wars of the Roses. Windsor Castle is, of course, one of the main residences of the royal family of today, alongside Buckingham Palace, Balmoral Castle in Aberdeenshire, and Sandringham House in Norfolk.
And there it is, Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle, purely on London buses. Took around 4 hours and 40 minutes. It's 10 to 2 right now.
So, I hope you enjoyed my debut challenge vlog. Do you have ideas for future challenges for travel within Great Britain? If so, let me know in the comments. In the meantime, feel free to like, share, etc. And you can also check out my flagship channel, 4K Explorer, link in the description. And finally, here are some closing shots of Windsor Town Centre. God save the King.